3 true Christmas horror stories. The holiday season is meant to be a time of joy, family, and warmth. But for some, Christmas brings something far darker, unexplained encounters that turn festive nights into nightmares. Tonight we dive into 3 true stories from Reddit's r/LetsNotMeet, where ordinary people face chilling horrors during the most wonderful time of the year. These are real experiences, shared by those who lived them. Sit back, turn off the lights, and remember, not everything under the tree is a gift. Story 1. Just a nice Christmas Eve drive. Our first story comes from a user who thought a quiet drive home after a family gathering would be the perfect end to Christmas Eve. But the darkness of the Oregon woods had other plans. This happened over 20 years ago. I was driving back home with my girlfriend at the time. It was Christmas Eve, and my mother's family used to hold a large celebration at my aunt's house in Estacada. This was my girlfriend's first time meeting with my extended family, but she got on quite well with them. We spent the majority of the afternoon and evening talking, playing poker, opening presents, and drinking an assortment of adult beverages. My girlfriend had been quite inebriated by the time we had to leave. Therefore, I'd be driving us home. It was around 11 p.m. or so. I was driving my girlfriend's car along Highway 211. Now this stretch of road is surrounded by farms and dense patches of forest, and parts of it are unlit, but nothing to fear. I grew up in this area, so I knew this road like the back of my hand. The both of us were just driving and talking away, just 2 young lovers making the most of our moment together. There is a portion of the highway that descends down an enormous hill before crossing Deep Creek. Surrounding both sides of the road are thick forests. There are no lights. The only thing we could see was the area directly in front of our headlights. I drive down the hill, cross the bridge, and uphill through more forest. It's as the highway starts to flatten out that it happens. Something sprints across the road so suddenly that I almost hit whatever it was. I slam on the brakes. I turn to my girlfriend and ask her if she saw it. She confirmed that she had, but she couldn't make out what it was. Maybe it was a coyote, as they are a tight common sight in this area, but something felt off about it. Whatever it was that ran in front of car disappeared into the woods next to the road. Coyotes don't usually just dart out in front of cars. Not like that anyway. So for some reason, I decide to check it out. I turn the car around and switch on the high beams to better light up the forest in which this thing had vanished in. I step out of the car and walk towards the woods. I don't see anything. But now it feels like perhaps I'd made a grave error. My heart is pounding, and the hairs on the back of my neck are standing at full attention, but I still don't see anything unusual in the trees. Suddenly the car's horn blasts. It's not a beep 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 that you'd get if, say, your driver or passenger wanted you to hurry up and get in the car. No, this was a long blaring bee bee bee. I walk back into the car and ask my girlfriend why she leaned on the horn like that. She said nothing. Instead, she pointed to a spot about 50 feet from where I was standing. I looked over in that direction, and that's when I saw it. Surely this was the thing that ran in front of our car. It was a man. He was completely naked. His skin was covered in dirt and mud, and in one of his hands, he was holding a hatchet. He looked back at us, and then he smiled and waved to us, just before turning around and walking back into the forest. Needless to say, we got the hell out of there. Once we were safely driving again, my girlfriend explained what had just happened. While I was trying to look for the man in the area he initially vanished in, he circled back around and came out from another spot in the forest beyond my car headlights. My girlfriend had seen something out of the corner of her eye, and that's when she saw him. Before she honked the horn, he was walking towards me, his hatchet raised as if making to strike me. We called the authorities once we got safely back home, but they never found anybody. Or they did and just didn't tell us. But the officer we spoke to explained his theory. The man was obviously looking to ambush unsuspecting lone travelers for Lord only knows what reason. We all agreed that my girlfriend's quick thinking saved my life, as it let my potential killer know that I wasn't alone out there. I moved back into the area recently, so I now drive that highway often. No naked hatchet man sightings yet, but I can tell you that I'm definitely extra vigilant now, especially near Deep Creek. Imagine stepping out into the cold Christmas night, only to become prey. What was that man doing out there, naked and armed? We'll never know. Story 2. Christmas Eve Lyft Ride Nightmare. Our second tale takes us to the gritty streets of a Midwest city, where a simple Lyft ride on Christmas Eve turned into a brush with potential violence. I'm a 22-year-old male, living in a large city in the Midwest. I drive for Lyft while putting myself through trade school. On Christmas Eve 2020, I was running Lyft for a few hours before heading to my mom's with my new baby and wife. I got a ride request from a lower-income apartment complex. My passenger had several boxes of belongings, and we loaded them into my 2006 Chevy Impala, which was a tight fit. During the ride, he was crying, saying his girlfriend cheated on him, and he walked in on them. He couldn't stay because the lease was in her name, so I was taking him to a hotel. In my city, there's a street known for hookers, drugs, gangs, weapons, and shady motels. We arrived at the motel on that street, with homeless people around, including a guy passed out with a needle in his arm. My passenger asked me to wait while he checked in. I agreed, though I sometimes bend Lyft rules. I have a gun hidden under my driver's seat for protection after past incidents involving knives, guns, fights, and robberies. The motel was ground level, so I drove him to his door. While unloading his stuff on my second trip, I saw a guy come out of a room south of my car, followed by two ladies. They went to a nearby room. One lady pounded on the door and opened it. The guy raised a shotgun from his long coat and stormed in with the ladies, slamming the door. I heard yelling and shouting, expecting shots. Suddenly, my passenger appeared behind me, said, "I can take this man, go ahead and take off. Have a Merry Christmas." He took the boxes and slipped a $5 bill in my pocket. As a tip, I was frozen, knowing what might be happening. The group saw me, and I knew they saw the gun. I had to leave to get to my gun or safety. As no witnesses, I sped away a block, called the cops with every detail, then signed out of Lyft. I hadn't made much but was done. Later, cops investigated, but found nothing. They never located the gunman or women. The room they entered had occupants who said nothing happened and called me a liar. I know what I saw. To the gunman with the shotgun, likely making a statement about a debt. Let's not meet again. A Merry Christmas indeed, surrounded by danger, in a place where holiday cheer is the last thing on anyone's mind. What happened in that motel room after he left? Some mysteries are better left unsolved. Story 3. The Elf Man. Our final story reminds us that even the magic of Christmas can twist into something sinister, especially through the eyes of a child. I've had few scary things happen to me in my life, the scariest probably being when my brother pulled a butter knife on me. However, I was listening to scary stories about half an hour ago at least, from when I post this, and thought about scary things in my life. Then I remembered this one thing from when I was 5. Call my bluff, but this story is completely true. If you still believe in Santa Claus though, you probably shouldn't read this. Don't say I didn't warn you. When I was about 5, around Christmas, I was being babysat by my grandparents. I was talking about elves and how kids in my class didn't believe them, and how I wanted to take a photo of one to get proof. She said sometimes elves visit children, so maybe I could look in our backyard, through the sliding glass door of course, and find some. I pressed my face against the glass and scrounged for elves, seeing a little splotch of red by the gates, blurry. I got excited and said it must be an elf, and my grandma, who must have assumed it was my imagination, said that was great and I should keep looking. I continued searching and saw the red blotch was closer, standing by our swing set. This time, I was able to make out what it was, a short figure in a red suit and hat. He was bald, it seemed, and his eyes were malicious. He was really short, so much so that he might have even suffered from some physical handicap, so I assumed it was an elf and got excited as all hell. He seemed to inch closer. And note, this was in my backyard, not the wash behind my house or something. I called my grandma over and pointed towards the figure, to which I remember her face contorting into one of slight horror, and she pulled me back from the curtains. "That's nice, dear, but elves don't like seeing children, because the children can't see Santa and his helpers," she explained, closing the curtains and making sure the door was locked. Still, I ran back up to the glass door and looked out again. The man was gone. I saw him moving behind the fence that separated our yard from the wash. I was sad to see him go, but my grandma looked relieved. She didn't call the police, so I don't think he was ever caught. Sadly, I hate to think about what would have happened if I hadn't told my grandma he was there. Was it a twisted intruder dressed for the season, or something more unexplained? Either way, it shattered the innocence of Christmas for that child. These stories prove that even during the holidays, danger can lurk in the shadows. If you have a creepy tale of your own, share it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more true horror from scary Kaifi tales. Merry Christmas, if you dare. Sleep tight.